What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Weekly Dose of Dano TV with your host here, Dano, giving you the best content that you're going to find on the internet. And if you stay for 10 minutes, I promise you're going to stay for the entire hour because we have Albert Couture here who's going to give you guys his golden nuggets and his gold bars on how to achieve a very rewarding and successful life, because Albert is the creator of the Albert Couture luxury fashion brand, and he's going to give you all the ins and outs on how to become a luxury fashion designer. So Albert, what do you have to say to the positivity paparazzi watching right now?
Hey guys, thank you so much. This is a very humbling moment. I love this, and I'm very excited to be here with you, man, and answer the questions that I have as much as I can. Talk about my struggle and all my wins as well, right? So I'm excited. I can't wait to be this with the world. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here. To my positivity posse, thank you guys for tuning in, whether you're watching live or on the replay. And now it's time to get started with another episode of Weekly Dose of Dano. Remember, everybody, raise your energy, raise your vibrations, bring your comments and your questions, because it's time for another episode of Weekly Dose of Dano. Let's get it, everybody. Like I said, everybody, thank you for being here this Thursday to watch Weekly Dose of Dano TV, to bring you guys the best information on the internet. And I promise you, Albert's story is absolutely incredible, and you're going to want to stick around to the end just to hear all of the highs and the lows that he had to go through in order to get, establish his brand in this tough world, what we call fashion nowadays. But before we get into that, I want to just talk to you guys really quick about change. And I know change can be kind of hard for some people who may not know what they're, changing into. And when it comes to change, there's a lot of unknown factors that go into it, right? Whether it's where am I going to be, 2 years down the line, or is my business going to succeed, or am I ever going to get that dream body? And you got to take the step right now. Number one, stop focusing on the things that can go wrong, and instead start to focus on the things that can go right. Because that is what's going to manifest if you think about it that way, right? If you're thinking about all the things that can go wrong, then yes, things will tend to start to go wrong. But like I said, when it comes to change, you should be very excited that you're actually taking the steps and the procedures and the energy and everything that you're doing to really accomplish this dream life that we have come to this world to live out, right? There's enough abundance of everything out there in the world. There's an abundance of money, abundance of great relationships, abundance of health that we can really achieve in this world. But we have to take the steps in order to start to see these things into fruition, right? I know a lot of people talk about dreaming and the American dream, and you got to be like all this negative stuff. But in order to realize these dreams, you got to take the first step to do it, right? And figure out what that first step is. Because a lot of people start to think about the dream life that they want to live, and they're not sure how to go about it. But if you take that dream and you just chop it down one step at a time, no matter how big or how small that step is, that's a step in the right direction, and you're on the right path to really to achieve anything that you want in this world. If you want to be, a household name in this world, look at the story of Bruce Lee, because there's a story about him before he got his first big break in his movie. I'm not sure if it was Enter the Dragon directly, but he wrote in his journal that he was going to be a household name within the year, and now look at him. Everybody knows the story and the legend that is Bruce Lee. And that can go for anything too. It can be if you want to, have $50 million worth to your name, or if you don't even have to have that much. It's going to be abundance, or just living a comfortable lifestyle. My point is, whatever it is that you want to achieve in this world, you are able to do it. I'm an example of it. Albert is an example of it, and we're giving you guys the golden nuggets and the golden, gold bars to make sure that we are achieving these things. So don't be afraid of change. Make sure that you are living out your lifestyle and accomplishing your dreams one step at a time, no matter how big or how small that step is. And if you're going at your own pace, don't listen to anybody else either. And that's the last tip that I'm going to tell you guys about that. Because when you're so worried about everybody else, you're not focused on yourself, you're not focused on your goals, and you're not focused on your heart. So how are you supposed to ever get to where you want to go if you have somebody else leading you towards that destination? All they're going to do is lead you off a cliff and not to a place that you want to get to. So there's my bit for you guys. Make sure that when it comes to change, please embrace it, because there's a lot of change going on in my life for the better, and I'm just so excited about it that I wanted to share it with you guys. If there's something that's changing in your life, please drop it down in the comments below and we'll get to it and we'll read it with everybody else, because this is a safe space for you guys in order to make sure that we're living in the best lives that we can. And I know that sounds cliche, but ultimately it's true. So let's look at the guys. Hello, beautiful souls. Thank you, Jeanette, for commenting that. Lou, Positivity Posse, thank you for being here. Carmen, I really do appreciate that. Nice shirt, Dano. I appreciate it. Wait till you see Albert's shirt. Oh, I guess you already did see it, right? Because he was here earlier on. That thing is fire. I might have to ask him for a piece or two after the show. So we'll see how it all goes, though. But yeah, this story that Albert is going to come on to tell about, I don't want to give too much away of it, but he started in, I believe it was the Congo, and he's a man from the Congolese, from Congo, and his story is nothing short of absolutely incredible. So please, guys, grab your pens, grab your notebooks, because he's about to give you guys all of the golden nuggets in order to make sure that we're living our lives. And I'm sorry now if I said that wrong, because I see his face back there, but that's why he's the expert. He's going to tell you about everything. So without further ado, please, guys, drop a hashtag, thank you, Albert, for coming on, or drop a fire emoji, or drop a suit, something to bring a warm welcome to Albert, because it's time to bring Albert Couture onto the show. Let's get it, everybody. Albert, what are you doing back there, man? Stop taking your designs and your measurements for your next collection. It's time to get up to the show. Albert, my man, how you doing today?
Oh, yeah, man. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Oh, man. Thank you so much for being here today and sharing just your knowledge, because I know your story. Hopefully I got it right when I was saying it, but I know it's nothing short of incredible, and that's really the main piece that brought us here together today, and what has gotten you everything that you've achieved in this lifetime, because you never stopped with all of these things that might have been going against you, but you just said, you know what, I'm not going to focus on that. I'm going to focus on me, what my dreams are, and we're going to make it happen, and that you have. So thank you so much for being on here today. So we have a lot that we have to talk about and not too much time to do it. So we're going to jump right into it. Albert, man, let me tell you, you can think about so many, fashion and luxury brands that are out there in the world, whether, it's, Gucci or Louis Vuitton or whatever it is. It doesn't really matter about them. My question to you is, right off the bat, what sets Albert Couture apart from the competition, and what makes Albert Couture so special?
Yeah. Hey, man, thank you so much, Dano, for asking me that question. I really appreciate you. Yeah, today, fashion world is a little bit more competitive. There's a lot more competitions in the world now, with technology and lots of access to traveling and being able to have access to resources and stuff like that. So today, Albert Couture's who we are today is because we wanted to bring something new to the market, and the way we were able to do it was to have some sort of an experience for individual to shop with Albert Couture. So it's not just about buying luxury clothing or just shopping online or whatever, right? It's more of having this unique experience that you're interacting with individuals that actually like care and love you, and they want you to have the best product and the best experience. So that's what we do at Albert Couture, and our motto is, redefining. We are basically redefining luxury clothing to experience. That's what we tell people. That's who we are. That's what we've always done. And when you walk into the place, you get greeted by warm welcome. You can have a champagne or an espresso, or you can relax. You can watch ball games, and everything that you have, everything that you could think of, we design everything in house, from shoes to sneakers and leather jackets and suits and gowns and all that. Everything is sketched in here, and we work with some of the best factories in the world to bring the best product to our client. And we only work mostly through appointment. We are traveling around the world to see clients that pay for us to show up and give them that unique experience. Because now people, people are looking for that unique experience now. Like you can go online and get the same shirt as everybody else, but everybody has different characteristic and personality that they want to show, and they want to kind of be they want to be noticed. They want to be felt. We all want to be accepted in this world. But say, hey, somebody just noticed me. Like somebody just saying, that's a nice shirt, right? And then you're like, oh, it kind of made you feel really good about that. And that's what we want to we want to sell, right? We want to tell people that it's okay to be unique, to be great, and to have some really cool unique product. And that's our couture. So we do have products online that you can buy and etc. But most likely our strong force is personalization. Yeah.
Awesome. And, it's not just me that they're talking about, too. They're talking about you right here. Lou says styling and profiling is what you're doing right now. And yeah, like exactly like you said, when it comes to just wearing nice clothes, when you always get that compliment, it makes you feel good about yourself, right? And really quick, thing that I like to tell people, or the quote that I use is feel good or look good, feel good, play good, right? When you look good, you feel good. When you feel good, you can play good. And when you play good, you perform good. And that's what it's really all about. So thank you so much for providing that into this world, whether it's, doing it for a compliment or helping somebody boost their confidence. And, fashion is an art, right? When it comes to an art, it's the art of storytelling. And you can find out a lot about a person just by the clothes that they're wearing. And, unfortunately, we can kind of do it for the negative reasons too, right? If you look at somebody on the street that has torn and tattered clothes, you might make the assumption that the person may be homeless, or, if they're in a tight fitting or nice suit, you might think, wow, that guy might be a CEO or somebody of status and power. So my question to you is, when it comes to the art of storytelling and Albert Couture, what stories do you want people to know, or what stories do you want to tell through your art and your style of fashion?
Uh, we sell like thank you. I mean, for the story that you just mentioned, with us, we want to be very cautious about that, right? Because us as human being, we tend to, for the when you never met someone for the first time, and they have this kind of character, this personality, but that's not the true self. So our goal when you walk into this beautiful place is we want to be able to have a safe space, a very open, comfortable space, so you could be, you could, we could see the true color of our day, right? So some things that we look at skin tone, we look at your hair color, who you are as a character. Are you a loud person? Are you a quiet person? Are you shy? Are you both? Are you neither? And we want to make sure that we can actually implement those into style. And even with that, sometimes we don't even get it perfect, right? We kind of have to do a couple stuff and then come back and, oh man, yeah, we did this product for you, and then we actually gonna change it now because we just realized something different about you. So like it's never 100% in the beginning, right? It's very hard to deal with individuals and trying to understand personality and characters, but we want to do our best, but most clients make it easy. They walk into a place and like, hey, listen, I'm tired of shopping. I need this, or like, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know this or this. I'm getting ready for my job interview. So we ask them questions like, so what do you want to do? What do you see yourself for now? Where's the interview going to be? Do you think you're going to get the job? Do you not think you're going to get the job? Or maybe I just want to look good. Why do you want to look good? Because my wife wants me to, I don't know, whatever, and etc. So we answer all those questions, and then we put this little puzzle together. We're like, okay, well, this person wants to be noticed, they want to be accepted. So we choose and design product around that. And overall, just, hey, I think this shirt will look nice on you. Or like, yeah, I think this will bring your eye colors out, right? Or whatever. Like we want people to be emotionally connected to the product that they have. And because it's not about buying a lot of stuff. If you look at most people's closet, they have a gazillion things because they got it on discounts and etc. We are the reverse engineer of that. We want you to have this product that are well nicely made for you that really describe who you are as a person when you walk outside and what you want people to see in you, right? So
Yeah, and thank you for doing that too, because like I said, when you have a gazillion things in your closet and you don't have these things that are custom and tailored to you, they just become things, right? But with you and Albert Couture, by you going in and asking all of these different questions about what are you doing it for, how do you want to look, and different things like that, it doesn't just become a thing. It doesn't just become an article of clothing. It becomes an experience. And with that experience, you're going out there and just changing these lives one by one. So it's absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for doing everything that you do, because it is an experience and you are changing lives, and everybody has their way of doing it, right? I have my television show. Somebody else may have, food that they provide, but you provide confidence and giving these people just a feel-good way of going out into the world and saying, hey, this is me. If you want to feel like this too, just go to Albert Couture, and he's gonna hook you up. He's gonna make that happen too. We have to go to just a quick commercial break to hear a word from our sponsors. But there was something that you just mentioned when you just talked about those gazillion things, and it's about the process of upcycling and sustainability, because a lot of people now find that to be an issue, and we're gonna dive into a little bit how how Albert Couture is fighting, the sustainability factor in the world. So we're just going to hear a quick word from our sponsors. Don't go anywhere, everybody. Like, share, comment, and we're going to get to the comments as soon as we come back. So here's just a quick word from our sponsors.
Takes a village about keeping our families together.
God bless this organization.
To It Takes a Village Housing for sponsoring Weekly Dose of Dano TV, because with your help, we're able to impact more lives and get on Albert's level and trying to help everybody else in this world increase their confidence. So thank you again to It Takes a Village Housing of South Jersey. So Albert, let's get back to your company, Albert Couture. We're going to get into the website and show some of your designs and collections a little bit later. But there's a recent thing that I've seen on social media called upcycling, where they'll take like old pieces of clothes, whether it's like old hats or pockets or suit jackets, and turn it into something new in order to fight, to make the world, to fight the climate and make the world a better place with recycling and things like that. So can you talk about some of the sustainability features that Albert Couture is doing to combat, the I guess littering and things that are going on in the world?
Yeah, man, this is very interesting because I was on both sides once upon a time in my life of this fashion industry. The side that I'm about to talk about real quick is obviously we're gonna touch base into that a little bit more, but it's been in Africa and being able to receive this, leftover clothing that's coming from the Western world, and you're in a third world country, and you get to like shop and pick and spend, trying to find something that fits you, something that looks great, and then after, even though that's over, I'm still gonna have to throw it away and get something else, right? So it's a huge problem back in third world countries. Whether with here you got Goodwill, you got things like that where you can walk in and purchase something, but yet getting something on discount, it's not that, oh, this is a good deal, this for me, it's great, but I guarantee you 2 months from now, 3 months from now, you're gonna want something new, and you're gonna throw that out, and it's just not okay for the planet. The reason why is because there's just so much chemicals in some of those clothes. They're made really quickly. and made in very bad environments in Asian countries and other third world countries, and then they send it over to this world, and you purchase it on discount, and then you send it over to another country where this clothing are thrown into land, and then the chemicals are all just kind of like filtering through the waters and stuff like that, which is not good to drink and all that stuff. So there's so much more, right? But what we do here is the reason why we want to I wanted to create Albert Couture with the model that we have today was because of that, right? So now I'm on the other side, right? That way I can just, swap a card and buy whatever I need. But I'm very conscious of that because I understand where I came from and what that's like. So I'm able to reverse engineer that and say, okay, well, I want to build this company like this. It's a little bit hard to build the model that I've built because a lot of factories are not really big fond of making one-for-one product, and they want you to order in bulk so they can make the most out of you, and then so they can pay their workers and etc. So the hardest part is being able to convince these factories that you can actually have the clientele that you need in order for them to create this product, and so they can make money and you can make money. So most of them don't like to take orders like this, but it took a while for me to be able to fly around Italy and Europe and all these different countries with once then my now my wife, but back then my my girlfriend, and she was the one who was basically translating in Spanish and like negotiating, and I was pretending that I so that was what that's how I was able to kind of negotiate some of these deals with factories. Hey, I don't have $1 million, but I guarantee you, this is one of the biggest companies, like, and you need to work with them because you have to work with them, right? So they were able to kind of accept my deals and say, hey, we'll try out and see what you can do. And as soon as after that, then I was able to take off, right? So we have this model where we do 1-for-1 for each product. It's because of sustainability, and we're very quality focused because we want to make sure we have clients who are allergic to different type of chemicals, who are allergic to different type of fabrics like wool and stuff like that, and gold buttons on like this. People who are really allergic to this stuff, Dano, and but they have a hard time shopping, right? They can just walk into a regular store and pick up whatever you can pick up. So they come to me and they say, hey, we need some help. I always wanted to wear a suit, but I'm allergic to this. So most suits are made of this fabric and I just cannot wear. So we create fabrics from scratch for clients, and not just the product or the design itself. We actually create fabrics from scratch. We work one-on-one with these factories. There's no middleman. There's no distribution centers. We actually go there in these small little places. We build relationship, and we shake hands with the old school guys who are cobblers and we say, hey, this is what we're thinking. This is what people need. This is what people are missing. And what can we do to improve on that? And so, yeah, we are very quality conscious, product focused, and experience driven, right? So, and we have always done that from day one. And so, yeah, sustainability is a big thing for us. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. And, that's what really separates you. I guess one of the things that, going back to the first question, what separates you, you'll make it whatever fabric that the customer needs, or they're in order to make sure that they are getting that experience to wear whatever it is that they want to wear. And I've never even thought about that, honestly, too. I'm so glad that you brought that up, where I'll just go in, look at a shirt, be like, oh, well, this is nice. I'll just throw it in the cart and then not even have to think about, oh, am I going to be allergic to it, or are the dyes going to mess with my skin or anything like that? So thank you for bringing that up, too, because I don't think a lot of people realize how really intense and how important it is to find the attention to detail. And you are really all about your clients and your customers. And when I was reading your bio, there was another service that you offer that I was like, you're telling me Albert is really doing this in order to make sure these clients are being satisfied. So can you talk a little bit about that? And I guess I'm going to spoil it for everybody watching, but you offer services where you go to the client, to wherever they are in the world, and you personally dress them, which is something that blew my mind because, there's just something that you don't hear about, especially from a luxury company. Why is that so important to you that you give, these people exactly it is what they want, whether it's going around, like you just said, creating the fabric from scratch, or going in and doing these custom made tailors and dressing the client yourself?
Right. So it all comes down to not just the word experience, but you got to understand the reason why we fashion house we built around the world and they're called fashion houses was because these designers used to actually feed people and design people in their own homes, and then so people will come over to the house, come over to my house of Albert Lukonga and I'll fit you. Come over to my house of Emily and etc. and I'll fit you. So that's where that came from, right? So it was always has been about experience, and then designers never looked at clients or customers. We never really use those words. We always look at things like this is the family, right? The family's growing, the family's expanding. You look at the house of Gucci, the house of Tom Ford, and all those guys, right? So they have some of the very intimate clients in the house all the time where they get to hang out, go to dinners and etc. But we wanted to do it with, okay, you don't have to come to us, we can come to you, kind of reverse engineer it. And the reason why I was able to do that, I remember when I was building a company, I would call New York, I would call Balenciaga or Gucci and say, hey, I want to make a suit appointment. I want to come in. I'm in Lexington, Kentucky. They were like, no, you have to come to us. So one thing these big brands were missing out was that human touch, right? They got so big, right? And they forgot about the little guy. And we wanted to do that from scratch, right? Like first of all, we could not afford it. We need to build our clientele. But at the same time, it's also like, I was like, man, like, what if I can't go there? That means I'm like, this is going to miss me out, right? They don't care who I am or I'm just a number to them. I'm more like a transaction over this emotional transaction, right, that we have right today, right? So I wanted to be noticed and felt by the brand. So what I decided, I was like, oh man, this is something that's serious. So what if we can go to there, right? We'll fly to Miami, we'll fly to New York, we'll fly to LA, we'll fly to Mexico, we'll fly to Canada, and then we'll show up at this hotel, and it'll be a boutique hotel, and then we'll set up like a showroom for you, right? And we'll let everybody know in town that, hey, by the way, we're gonna be in Miami from this time to that time, and people will book appointments, and they'll show up to this like very unique hotel. There's champagne, there's like this unique experience, and we take the experience with us, if you notice, right? And then when you walk in here, we are, okay, so on this part, this is how we design the shoes. These are all the leather options that you have. These are all the shoe design. And we try to narrow it down a little bit because our options are very endless. So we try to kind of make it easier for people to kind of pick really quickly. And then what do you need? These are the sweaters. These are all cashmere sweaters. This is how we design them. These are slacks, so jeans, our leather jackets, our suits. And then and when you walk in there, you get measured, and then we leave, and then we fly back, and then we deliver all those products, and then we do the final fitting, and then you're good to go. I think something like that is always, everybody want to experience that, right? So you don't have to be making a couple $1 million a month in order for you to experience that anymore, right? So everybody now has a chance to experience that. You can easily just spend $10,000 now and find somebody that can do that. And then, but these brands also have people called stylists, right? So it's kind of like a very similar form of that, but with us, we are more, hey, listen, we're gonna come to you, we're gonna give you the experience that you never had, and it's gonna be completely private. So yeah, we do that, and it's amazing for us, and we get to know our clients really well, right?
How did my mic just mute? That is so weird. I've never had that happen before. I don't even know how that happened. I didn't touch anything. But it's just so interesting how things happen like that on the fly. But like I said, it's just so interesting how you're able to do that, and really a blessing to these people who can, who might not, like you just said, make a couple $1 million a month, but they're still able to feel that lifestyle of luxury and fashion. And you are the catalyst, and you are the vessel that is being used for these people to feel good. So thank you so much for doing that. Again, like I said, this is your brand is absolutely the definition of luxury. And let's talk about, actually, we got time constraints with everything too. So we're actually going to I was going to get into like the fabrics of everything, but like I said, we got to adhere to the time constraints, but we actually got to play a word from our second sponsor of Weekly Dose of Dano TV. And now for the second half of everything, we're going to be diving into the personal life and how this company all got started, Albert Couture, and kind of like what your inspirations were. So if you guys have any questions so far for Albert, make sure to leave them in the comments. And we're actually just going to address a few of them. David Luke right here, or Luck, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but it says, good job, Albert Couture. Super, super proud of you, brother. We got Go Birds because the Eagles game is on tonight and they're playing the Colts. So yeah, Go Birds, 100%. Dano, my favorite host with the best content. Thank you guys. You guys are absolutely amazing, and this wouldn't be possible without you. Great content again. And Dano, Lou, it's nice to see you again, guys. But like I said, we're going to play a quick word from our sponsors, and we're going to get into the personal life of Albert and how everything got started and his inspirations. So if you have any questions, comments, or you just want to spread some good energy, leave it in the comments, and we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Did you know you can apply to over 50 historically black colleges and universities at the same time for only $20? You can with the Common Black College application. Hello, my name is Robert Mason. I'm the founder of the CBCA. Students around the world have completed the application and received multiple acceptance letters, financial aid packages, and scholarship offers. So visit our website at commonblackcollegeapp.com to apply now. And don't forget to pick up the book, Get Educated, The Man Behind the Common Black College Application. Thank you, and get educated.
So everyone, that was the second sponsor of Weekly Dose of Dano. If you want to get interested to learning how to apply for different applications for colleges, I'll reach out to that sponsor as well. And thank you again for sponsoring Weekly Dose of Dano TV. So Albert, your journey has started, I believe since 2018 is when you founded the company, and you haven't looked back since. It's been just an abundance of prosperity, an abundance of money, and great things and inspiration for you as well. When it comes to inspiration, there's so many different ways you can find your sources. You have the arts or culture, or history, or nature. And like I said, so many different ways that you find your inspiration. For all of your collections, are they inspired by a different piece of entertainment or culture or art? Or do they all come from the same place? And I guess really dive into that. Where do you get your inspiration from?
Yeah, man. Inspiration is so big for designers because you have to constantly be thinking about the new things. What's next? What can I do? And also, do people want this? Is this going to sell? So it's like a very, very, very thin, fine line, right? So it's right there. So you want to make sure it's not just because I like it, therefore everybody's going to like it. Or this is going to work. It's going to be great for the company. So this is why the biggest designers in the world are separated from everybody else who just loves fashion, right? So you got 3-4 fabric that you gotta design multiple different pieces from, and to make sure people love it, they're actually gonna purchase it because, oh man, I've never seen it. And also, you gotta make sure it's unique enough for people to say, oh, I want this because this is unique and this is not something similar to other designers. So if you look at Tom Ford, you look at one of my biggest inspiration, Ralph Lauren and all that, they're constantly thinking about what's new. The way I do it, an example is Christian Dior. This guy used to sit in the garden all the time, and he would look at flowers in his garden to be able to find the beautiful dresses and gowns that he was known before Christian Dior is the Christian Dior we know today, the purses and shoes and wallets and all that stuff, right? So with me, my inspiration comes from traveling and food and trying to live this life that I never had a chance to live when I was in Africa in the Congo, right? I never even imagined that it was possible for me to live, right? Traveling around the world, being on yacht, or trying different experiences like food and different cultures and speaking different languages. From being in a ranch in Mexico to being somewhere in Italy at a vineyard and etc. like that, right? And things like that. So like, and the other item I would like to add on that is, I think you brought up something, entertainment. It's also movies, right? There's so many unique movies and they tell different stories that I can sit there and watch the same movie that you're watching, but I'm looking at how the pieces are made in the movie, and while you were looking at the action, the shooting and then the fighting and all the drama, right? So I tend to kind of have a different brain than most people because that's just what I do all the time. And the other thing that I have is going to parties and events, around town, and here in Kentucky, we're known as the host capital of the world. So we have this event that we call the Kentucky Derby, or all these host events and polo matches that I get to be around and look at it and say, this is what I'm going to recreate and do better. Because fashion is not something making. It's not something. I'm not trying to make something new. I'm trying to add to what's already existing, right? So that's what I'm trying to do. So that's how I do it.
And I love that so much. Like I said, so for everybody that's out there, you always just got to be innovative. And that's just reflecting on what we were talking about earlier, right? When it comes to change, don't be afraid of change. And I know a lot of people, like I said, they don't know what they're going to turn into or what their brand is going to turn into or just, what their lifestyle is going to be. But just know that it's going to be for the better and for the best as well. And I know with social media, a lot of the time, we kind of tend to see, or maybe certain brands see certain things, and they're like, wow, well, I really want to do that as well. And then they kind of steal other people's ideas. So Albert, I kind of want to touch on that. Has that ever happened to you where somebody like looked at your designs or your clothing was like, wow, I want to be like that guy? Have you ever faced any like harsh competition where anybody's stolen any ideas or designs from you?
Yeah, once, but when I'm designing pieces, I'm not looking at who's stealing what and what they're doing. For me, I tend to look at that more for compliment over anything else. Like somebody's admiring you, he wants to replicate you over like, whoa, why is that guy stealing my pieces? But you want to be 100% focused into what you're building. And there's a saying that you probably know, you are your greatest enemy, right? So like you do not want to look out, exteriorly. You want to look within and say, hey, what can I do to improve on what I've already done? So and it can also be very problematic if you're constantly designing and making new pieces, because you are never satisfied with what you have. So like you can make a piece for a client, comes in and you put it on. You're like, oh my gosh, I love this leather jacket, but you start seeing every imperfection or every other ways that you can do to improve it and make it even more better. But it's too late. So you're not gonna be, hey, actually take the jacket off, let me do it again, right? So like it's like, yeah. So you are never. I mean, I am grateful. I am happy with what I've done and where I'm at that very moment. As soon as 5 minutes passes, I'm like, oh, I don't like it. I want to do something better. Let's improve it on that. This is how we can improve it. And in fashion, we improve it by minimizing instead of adding. So a lot of people want to add a bunch of stuff. Like, let's add more buttons or let's add this. So what I do is I add as much as I can in the beginning, and then I start to take out minors. And there's a saying also, it's like, the most simplest things in the world are the most beautiful things in the world. Oh, that girl's natural beautiful, and etc. Or I love that tree. I love how so surreal that house is, or blah blah blah. So we love the simplest things in the world because we think that's what beauty is, which is, I would say, for me as a designer, it is true. So I'm the opposite of her. If you look at other designers, they want to add as much as they can, and especially designers today. Some of the pieces that you see on runways, you cannot even put on, right? But it's entertainment. So fashion is becoming more for entertainment on the video. But then there's designers like where I still want to kind of design timeless pieces that people can appreciate and maybe pass down to their grandkids and etc. Yeah.
Well, yeah, 100% too. And the way that you're doing it with the sustainability factor, it is going to be able to be passed down through generations and not get worn after 3 times and hit the dry cleaner a few times and then it disintegrates. No, so that's just leading to your point as well about just being able to pass that down to the next generation and to the next culture. And yeah, there was a lot of things that you said in there that people can apply that same knowledge into their life, right? Like number one, the things that you said that really jumped out was simplicity is beauty, right? You don't need all the fanciest things in the world, or like you don't need all the highest inventions or the greatest technologies to find that inspiration or bring your dreams to life. You can do that just by being simple. Like you said, just don't overdo it. Maybe if instead of adding so many things, they can just start taking things away. And that was just one of the things that really jumped off the page. And like you said, we're your own greatest enemy. So just make sure you're not getting in your own head. And there's a lot of things that you said in there that, yes, even though we are talking about fashion, I'm pretty sure that you apply to your everyday life as well. And that is why you have become so successful. And I want to talk about that, what I just talked about leaving the future generations, your inspiration and creating timeless pieces. Now, when it comes to the Albert Couture brands, what is it when it's all said and done and, you retired or everything you have accomplished, what mark or what difference do you want to make in the fashion industry?
We have a lot of fashion designers in the world. Recently, we just lost one of my, inspiration is Vadrabo, and and as a minority individual, uh, an African designer, I think creating a brand from scratch and to be one of the few fashion houses in the world that was built by this young African guy, but for everybody to experience and enjoy. So for me, I look at myself as I'm just a grain of sand in the Sahara Desert, as part of this Abracito, fashion house journey, right? I can build it, and fix it a little bit, but I want this. This is gonna live longer than I'm not, after me and my grandkids and etc. Right. So, and for me is thinking like that, right, and saying, um, who am I gonna be tomorrow and why, and what does that mean? And for me, and creating something in the luxury industry is I'm Albert Couture and Albert Couture is me. So there's no two ways, right? It's not I'm the entrepreneur and I'm building a business. Me and the business are together, right? So like when I wake out, I have to work out the business. When I'm feeling healthy, I have to make sure the business is healthy. I look at the company and the brand as an individual, right? That needs to get fed, taken care of, pampered, and so it can thrive, and so we can officially take care of the world. Like we are here, despite being in the fashion industry or being a chef. And, there's people who are chefs and doing different stuff, but we all are here to create a service for individuals, right? That's why we're here as entrepreneurs. And that service can start off very selfishly. Like I want to do something for myself. I want to build a business like this so I can take care of myself and my services. But it ends up being this thing that it's more of an addiction. A lot of people are very passionate, right? So with me, you have to be addicted to it. And to when you're, like you said, so sensitive that you're tired, it's end of the night, sleeps at night, you don't have enough money to pay bills. You can literally survive through that, and you have no remorse or emotions. You just kind of keep doing it and over again. And a lot of people are gonna call you crazy and stupid, and you need to get a job and etc. And you gotta do it right, but you gotta keep maintaining that and do it, and really realize like, oh man, I think I'm gonna give my whole entire life on this earth to build this business. And that's who I am. The business is me, and I am the business. So it's a little scary once you cross that threshold, right? Because once you cross it, it becomes a little bit easier. It just becomes right. But when you're crossing it, you start to question yourself if it's you are the real person who should be doing this, or if you're just wasting your time. What is life? And what is time? And is this even right? Am I even the right guy? So, but once I crossed that, and with the love and help of my beautiful wife, being there and helping me and supporting me, I could not imagine, right, myself doing something else ever, right? So this is what I'm gonna do, and there's gonna be some failures. It's gonna be this, but failure is not failure. Failure is just like, hey, we went to practice today, and then I fell down. I gotta get up again and keep doing it, right? So, but when clients come into this place and they're smiling because this face, or they're crying, right? They're like, oh man, this is actually serious. This is a calling, and I'm actually addicted to this. Yeah.
Yeah, and perfectly said. I couldn't have said it better myself. And thank you for sharing that golden nugget or that gold bar that a lot of people are scared to take that threshold, or when they do come across these challenges, they're not really sure how to respond. And whether that's early on in your career, but whether it's just getting started and trying to get over that hump, or maybe you've been established for 5 years and you see something that you just don't think you come out of. Albert just said it best, and listen to the man, because he's super successful, and that's why we're here together to help you guys understand, whatever challenges come across your plate or come across your life, you will be able to get through it. And you may not see it right then and there, but you will get on the other side of it. And even if you don't, at the very least, you have that experience and that knowledge, and you can take that going into your everyday life. So even if it doesn't work out the way that you would prefer it to, it's still working out the way in order for us to achieve our greatest good and our highest good as well. So thank you, Albert. And like I said, I know you have so many stories about that, maybe where you wanted to quit or you have so many different challenges. I mean, I know I've experienced it running Weekly Dose of Dano TV with the television show. There's so many things. I just want to share a quick story with you guys because I'm not sure if you know, but the first person that I've ever reached out to as a guest, which was about 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, the first person I've ever reached out to said, basically, yeah, well, you're not really a television show and we're not going to waste our clients' time because we don't think that you're worth it. And that was from the very beginning. And I just love hearing that story because now we've grown and grown to see, you know, so many thousands and tens of thousands and really hundreds of thousands of views throughout the course of Weekly Dose of Dano TV. So just don't ever stop. Like I said, it may not work out the way that you're going to prefer it to, but it will work out for our best good and our best interests. So we're just going to take one more word just to hear from our sponsor, one more break to hear from our sponsor. Don't go anywhere. Like and share this content for the people that do need to hear it in the world. And we'll be right back after a quick word from our sponsors from Weekly Dose of Dano TV. Let's get it, everybody.
You can navigate the legal and emotional journey of divorce and exit a marriage the way you entered it with mindfulness, love, and respect. Solace Divorce Mediation is a full-service law practice helping couples focus on the health and well-being of children and their forever co-parenting family. Our streamlined divorce journey offers flat fees with an estimated completion time frame of 2 to 4 months. If you or a friend need us, visit solacedivorce.com.
Thank you to our third sponsor for sponsoring Dose of Dano TV, and we're here with the legendary Albert Couture, and just giving us the golden nuggets and sharing his experience about designing and being the founder of Albert Couture, the luxury fashion brand that you need to go grab today. And Albert, we're just going to take a quick look about your website and everything. Can you tell us about any future projects that you have coming up that you want everybody watching to know about?
Yeah, I mean, so the future product we have, well, I'm designing a new collection right now. It's going to be a Miami, yacht collection that we are building on right now, and it's going to be it's not going to be an open to public event, unfortunately, and then a lot of people are very upset about that. But we're going to have, a lot of really cool clients, all celebrity invited to this. And no cameras are allowed and etc. and all that stuff. I've never been to Miami, but it's going to be freaking exciting. I think I'm very much excited. Just putting some work on this in this collection to be able to bring something new to the market and show Miami that Albert Couture is here and Albert Couture is here to stay, right? So that's one project that we're working on, and we got a couple more projects coming up. But usually what we do fashion shows with the charity involved, and then we'll raise money. We sell some tickets and take that money and give back to that nonprofit. So that's what we have done for the past couple years. So that always has been humbling. It's not something that we're doing as a marketing, but we're doing. We wanted to do that because we just want to be part of the community as well. There's so many people that cannot walk through our doors because they don't think that they can. They have the cash to be able to have this experience, but I think, and I always tell them that this is an investment, and but even if they don't have a product, we still give them a chance to experience what our Couture is and what we're doing.
Awesome. Yeah, and keep your eyes out if you are out there in the Miami area, because Albert is coming in guns blazing, and is going to really change the fashion scene down there. When is this event taking place for the fashion show and for the all celebrity fashion show? Excuse me.
Yeah, so we're gonna be in Miami on the 24th to the 28th, if I'm not mistaken, or the 20. But the event is gonna take place on the 25th, and so after that, we got a couple feelings that we have to meet the clients there So we're gonna be doing fittings all week long. So if you're there in Miami from the 20th all the way to the the 30th, we're gonna be all around there, and you'll be able to book an appointment with us and come over to my hotel and have an experience. And but despite not being able to get to the show, but we still want to give you an album to experience. So yeah, definitely stay tuned for that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Awesome. And yeah, so thank you, everybody. And like I said, Albert, your wisdom has been absolutely amazing. To my positivity posse, I just want to acknowledge some of your comments. Albert Couture got the fire emoji, the 100 and claps. Great question earlier. David Luke or Luck, I think it's Luke, but I'm going to go with Luke. Hopefully you're going to offend David. But it says, thank you, Albert Couture, for allowing me to design my own style. And thank you, Dano, for this wonderful live. Thank you, Dave, just for tuning in and sharing this hour with us of this feel-good content. And you're not going to be able to find it anywhere else. So thank you guys for doing that as well. Just want to mention one more thing. Dano, did you post to speak about the wrestling event this weekend? I'll talk about it right now. So if you are in the South Jersey area and the Camden area or surrounding areas, I'm going to be the MC for a live wrestling event. It's free for the city of Camden. So make sure if you know of any younger kids or anybody that's a wrestling person and loves wrestling, just please come out and support the event. And like I said, if you're even in the Miami area on the 24th and all go, make sure you go hit up Albert and tell him that you found them here on Weekly Dose of Dano. And you guys have been amazing and just absolutely killer with everything. So thank you so much. And Albert, we actually wrap up the show with the same question every single time. And if you can give us some more of your golden nuggets and your gold bars of wisdom, we would greatly appreciate it. So Albert, if there's somebody that's watching right now and maybe they're not able to see the end, the light at the end of the tunnel, and they need some advice or some wisdom in order to get them right back on track to where they used to be, or even greater, what pieces of advice do you have to give for that person watching today?
Yeah, ignore 99% of individuals in this world and just listen to 1%, and then make sure you choose that very wisely. Very important. The other thing is also find as much mentors as you can, whether it's through books or movies or just real individuals that you have in your area who are in your industry, or not even in your industry, that you could learn and get advice from. I have a lot of mentors and individuals that have taught me business and and how to strategize things, how to build my company from scratch. So that's been very humbling. And I do a lot of reading, guys. So if you want to build a company and you want to be able to understand history and then understand the present and then understand where the future is going, right? So you can understand where the future is going, or fashion or whatever industry you're in, if you don't understand the history of that industry. So for me, those are very important. And then finally, your health, right? So that's something that I'm still working on myself right now too. While I'm building the business, I tend to forget about myself and who I am. Working on, eating properly and working out and getting my mental state together, whether it's to praying or meditation or whatever that might suit you. I think those are the very huge main things for me, right? So like surrounding myself with the right people as well, and then you got your health, and then you also have your personal, yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing that too, because it's not only just about the business side of everything, but like you said, it's about taking care of our mind, our body, and our souls in order that we are just making sure everything is clean and organized on the inside world, because as we all know, everything from our outside world is a reflection of our inside world. So if things are kind of chaotic and, you're not really feeling well, do anything that it takes in order to clean that up, whether it's like cleaning your room or cleaning the dishes in the sink or your car, or just really reading something that's, inspirational, just watching motivational content like here on Weekly Dose of Dano TV. But whatever it is that it's going to take for you to get back to living a lifestyle of happiness, just please do it. And like you said, Albert, it's not just about everything about going on with your business, but everything else that goes along with supporting that business. So Albert, if somebody wanted to reach out to you, where can they find you at online, whether it's email or social media, things like that?
Yeah, we on Facebook at official Albert Couture. So that you just type at official Albert Couture, and then Instagram is Albert Couture. It's Albert _ Couture, right? So Albert _ Couture, COUTURE, and you will also be on YouTube as well. You can type in the brand on YouTube and take a look at some of the stuff that we have made in our fashion shows in the past. And then or you can just go straight to our website, albertcouture.com, and you can send us a message. And I would love to. My team and I would love to answer any questions that you guys have. So thank you for that.
Awesome. Yeah, and thank you so much for being on to my Positivity Posse. Thank you so much for being here today. Like I said, wherever you're watching from, if you're watching from Kentucky or New Jersey or California, thank you guys for watching and tuning in and bringing this positive energy, because I feel it every single week, and your questions and your comments are absolutely amazing. You guys always crush it. So big shout out to you guys. And just to let you know, next week we're going to have Jennifer Barron's on. And if you don't know who she is an actor, and she's been featured in CSI. Everybody knows CSI, the agency, and also my neighbor's daughter. So just a few pieces of information for you guys as well. Make sure you tune in next week and write your questions down now so we can be prepped for next week to hear some more information about and just to hear everything about Jennifer Barron's story, because it's absolutely incredible. Just like Albert's here. And Albert, like I said, I sound like a broken record saying it, but I'm saying it again. Thank you so much for coming on, sharing your golden nuggets. Make sure you don't go anywhere, because I got to talk to you after the show has ended. Just stick around for a few minutes. And like I said, this wouldn't be possible without the sponsors and my Positivity Posse. So my guys, thank you so much. I just want to share this one video, just more information about the wrestling event that I'm going to be hosting this weekend. And like I said, if you are in the surrounding areas, just come out through. We're going to show the information right here in this video. And if you are in the Miami area, hit up Albert and he'll be able to take care of you down there as well. So you guys, be safe. I'll see you next week for another episode of Weekly Dose of Dano TV. Let's get it, everybody. Have a great weekend. Be safe.